I'm here to show you how to make a little growth journal using your hand. Now, I am going along the mindset. I kind of looked up on the internet growth mindsets because years ago I took a class on growth mindset setting, which basically is thinking along the lines of growth, whether it's personal growth or career growth, where you want to go, get to a place successfully, okay? And it's also by learning from your mistakes, okay? One of my own personal favorite quotes is, they're not mistakes, they're learning experiences. That's what I call my mistakes, because hopefully I'm going to learn from those mistakes, and then I'm going to go on and grow from that mistake, and have a positive mindset, all right? So I did take a class a long time ago on it, and trying to think of positive ways of thinking. So if you go to the internet and you search growth mindsets, you'll come across some interesting info, those info, whatever you want to call them, graphics or whatever, and it will go along, your fixed mindset, maybe what you were in your environment, how you were raised. You might have been raised with a fixed mindset. If you were raised in a negative household like I was raised in a very abusive and negative household sorry about this, I'm having everything falling. I was raised in a negative household an abusive household. So I was raised with the thought of that I couldn't do it, I wasn't good enough, I couldn't, I can't, I won't, that kind of thing. So that fear and that anxiety was kind of set in my brain for a long, long time. And it's only been in recent years that I have tried to tackle it head on and not let my anxiety and my fears get in the way. All right. So another thing, so what I'm trying to teach you here is to do a growth mindset journal. And I want you to put positive things on the back of your hand. So I'm going to show you how to put the hand together, and we're going to tie it together and everything. So stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to show you towards the end how to finish the back of your hand and what you're going to finish it with. All right, so stay tuned for that, and I'm going to get started. All right, so in this section I'm going to show you how to create your background to create the hands. Okay, so you're going to need either watercolor paper or Bristol paper or construction paper. You need something that's not so flimsy, all right? You need something that's going to have a little bit of thickness and that can kind of stand on its own, okay? So that's kind of the idea, all right? So if you don't have those things, if you have cardboard, you could cut out a cardboard, but it's going to be harder to cut out your hand out of cardboard. But you could try it, right? So I'm going to get started with the background, and I'm just basically going to be collaging down pieces of paper, bits of scraps and things from leftover projects, and then I will come back in a little bit. So enjoy. I also forgot to mention that if you're new to mixed media, there's really no tried and true rules per se as to putting together a mixed media piece. So just have fun. Don't worry about the perfection. Imperfection, I think, turns out much prettier than having something that's going to be perfect, okay? You don't want something that's going to be perfect, all right? So go ahead and start gluing down bits and pieces of papers. You could use newspaper, you could use an old phone book, you could use scrapbooking papers, you could use origami paper. There's all kinds of papers that you can use for your background, and it also creates a layer to have things adhere better, have the paint stick better rather than having to gesso over something. It gives a little bit more tooth to your project. All right, so enjoy my process. So I want you to also create 2 more backgrounds, all right? So you'll need 2 more pieces of watercolor paper or whatever paper you have that's thick enough, that has enough tooth and it's strong enough to stand up on its own, all right? So get that together, create your 3 different backgrounds. So I don't want you using the same kind of paper in the next one. So if you have other scraps of different ones, or lay them down differently, but you want to have them look a little bit different from each other, all right? And then we're going to go on to the next step on this particular piece of paper, and you're going to do the same to the other 2. Alright, so today I'm going to take some gesso and I'm going to spray it, wet it down with some water, and I'm going to go ahead and scrape it around on my background here. And the paint will work better to do it with. Sorry guys. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe and wipe some of the excess off, because I still kind of want my background to show a little more. So I'm just going to very lightly just smooth it out, the gesso out even more. Okay, then I'm going to make some marks and layers. Okay, I'm going to make this page grow, alright, by adding lots of layers, okay? So enjoy my process as I add some more layers and things to this paper, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with it, alright? So I'm going to mask out some of these areas before I add my next layer, alright? My next growing layer. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add some more paint on the top of this. And you're going to probably go, why are you doing that? You'll see. I like to scrape paint. It gives it a totally different texture when you scrape paint versus using a paintbrush. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll be back in a minute to remove the tape from the blocked out areas that I used to block off some areas. Alright, so I'll be back in a few. Alright, so I'm going to quickly, I've got 7 minutes left on my battery, so I'm going to, on my camera, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the blocked off areas real quick that I blocked off, and then I painted over, scraping my paint over this. So I'm going to carefully, whoop, that's not tape. I'm going to carefully remove the blocked off areas, okay, of tape that I put down. Okay, and I'm not quite done yet, so I'm going to let the rest of this dry, and I'm going to charge up my battery, and then I'll be back in a while. So I'm going to continue adding some marks and things, and so continue to enjoy my process, please. And I'll be back in a few to explain what we're going to do next, all right? I did my layers, and now what I want you to do is, once you're done with your layers, I want you to take a pen, and it can be a black pen, a white pen, it can be any type of pen, okay? It could be a paint pen, it could be a marker, it could be, you know, pencils, anything you want to outline some of your marks, all right? And then when you're done, and I'm done, I'll be back, but I want you to make not just one page of these. I want you to make 1, 2, 3 more pages. All right, I want you to make 3, so actually 2 more pages. Okay, this is our first one. This is another one I did, and I started outlining them, and then I forgot that I wanted to show you, tell you to outline yours. All right, I'm not going to do it on camera because it'll bore you to tears. All right, so I want you guys to make your marks, then outline what you've made, okay? Outline your marks. And then I will be back in a little while, in a few minutes, with the miracle of the camera, and show you what we'll do next, all right? So, see you in a bit. I went ahead and outlined everything, and then, can you see the handprint? All right, so I went ahead and traced my hand, all right? Now, last February, you saw me make a hand for my year and include it in your art journal page, right? But this time I'm having you do several hands. Now, I'm not going to tell you why yet, because I'll be back in a few to show you what I mean, why I want you to do several hands. So I want you on each sheet of your paper, trace your hand, all right? And then the second one, you're gonna line up one of the hands, because I kind of made a mistake when I thought about it. The way I want to do this, you want to just use one of these and to create a pattern for the next sheets of paper, all right? So do 2 each on each page, all right? Do 2 each on each page. Save your cuttings, all right, for another project. Don't waste your cuttings, save them, all right? Because I have a reason for that. Later in the week, you're gonna see these pop back up. So I'll be back in a few, and yeah. All right, so choose which hand you're gonna use as your pattern for your next one. I'm gonna choose this one as my pattern, all right? And then take a black pen or pencil and just outline your hand on both, both sides of your page, and the same on this one, and cut them all out, and then I'll be back in a few to show you the next step, all right? I cut them all out except for the one that I had my hand way spread out. I'm going to use this as the cover. So you're wondering, cover of what? Well, we're going to put together a little booklet using our hands, okay? And I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut the hole in here, how to I'm going to attach them, okay? So first I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers Dialo, whatever you want to call it. It's a hole punch kind of thing. It also does brads at the tip here. So first off, I'm just going to eyeball where I want my hole. The first set of holes, okay? And so I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and I'm not, you know, you could measure if you want. I'm eyeballing where I want my holes. Okay. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use the first one as a guide. Okay, so see where I punched the holes? All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the next set here. Just eyeball where I'm going to punch that hole. And I could also, you know, if you don't have a hole punch thing like that, you could use a regular hole punch and just trace your holes with a pencil. You know, put the dots, you know, kind of trace through the holes, mark them to where you want to punch those holes, okay? So that's going to be my, that could also be my guide, all right? Let's just hope that they're even, somewhat even. I'm not too concerned, you know, because I like the imperfection of art projects. It just makes it look more handmade than machine made these days, okay? So I'm just gonna do that off. I'm gonna finish doing these off camera, and after I'm done doing these, okay, I want you to decorate your hands more. Add bling, add ribbon, add fabric pieces, wherever you want to on each of your hands, okay? But save some room around the middle, okay? So you could decorate all around your areas there, okay? And then I'll be back to show you what I've done with mine, all right? So enjoy working on your hands, all right? And post pictures too on the My Year Facebook group, because I would love to see what you've come up with regarding your hands, all right? And then I'll be back to show you the rest of this project in a few. So I've decorated my hands with lots of bling and stuff, and this is going to be the title one to our book. So I will put the title after I tell you what this is all about, all right? So first hand is first hand, get it? I used Stickles, which is like a glitter glue, all right, in some of the areas, and I actually used nail polish on the nails. And I did some gems, and then this heart I had made a long time ago from some drop cloth. And so I used just little bits of pieces of things, ribbon and stuff, and bling, and just all kinds of cool little things on here, okay, on each of these. And not everybody wears rings, so I didn't put bling on this one. I put bling on this one. And if you've watched one of my videos on how to make lacy embellishments using some plasticky type of modeling paste and using a fondant mold to create these embellishments, and then what I did is I took some nail polish and painted over those. So if you're looking for that video, look up how to make lacy embellishments on YouTube and you can find that video. So I basically just blinged up the hand, all of my hands, and I did actually use nail polish on these hands. It was fun to do. And get out your gems and get out, you know, some ephemera. I can't say that word. And just bling up your hands, and I'll be back in a few. All right. So we're at the stage where I'm going to want to add positive things on the back of my card for my personal growth. Now, they could be positive quotes. You could look those up on the internet and write some positive quotes. They could be what I like to call positivities, where you can put, I can do it, I'm worthy, I can tackle this or that, okay? And, you know, instead of saying I can't, I can persevere, I can do it, those kinds of things. Another thing that you could say is, I have this little graphic that I found on the internet, and it says, I have a growth mindset. I persevere when I'm frustrated. I'm inspired by people who succeed. My effort and attitude make all the difference. I can always improve. Mistakes help me learn. I can learn anything that I want to. I like to challenge myself. So these are some things that you could look up on the internet and add to your little growth journal. Okay, so I like to call this my little growth journal. And so you're going to add on the back all your positivities, okay, and or positive quotes that you like, that keep you going and keep you growing as a person. So in this section here, I'm going to go ahead, before I add more, what I did here was I added what growth means in the dictionary, and that's on the back of my title card. And then I'm going to show you where I'm going to put my title on the top front of this, and then I'll put the date down of when we did this one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just using some Tombow markers. I love Tombow markers because they're water soluble, so they move around with water, which is really awesome. So I just like to kind of scribble some color in different areas. So I'm going to quickly go through and do this to each of the back of my hand, all right, to add some color to the back. Okay. And then I'm going to take one of my watercolor brushes, and I'm going to get some water, because of course I'm not prepared, and I'm going to keep on going here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to finish up the backs with the color, and then I'll come back in with the watercolor brush and wet everything down, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, and I'm going to fast forward through all of this. And I'm sorry about my phone going off. I forgot to silence my phone while we were doing this. Now you don't have to use Tombow markers. They're kind of spendy, all right? If you don't have Tombow markers, you can get yourself a cheap set of markers, and many of the markers, like the Crayola markers, are water soluble. So, which means they move around with water. So go ahead and get yourself a cheap pair, a cheap set, and they're not bad for you. Okay? And I'll be right back. All right, so I've got all my hands. Oh, nope, I thought I had all my hands colored in the background. So in this section, my camera shut down. I don't know what's going on, but I went ahead and used a water brush and wet down the water-soluble pens and went ahead and spread them around, and this is the cool effect I got. And next we're going to add our positivity mindset growth quotes. All right, so go ahead and look for those, Google them on the internet, and you can print them out, print them out and then paste them onto your hands. So that's what I'm going to do with mine, and I'll be back in a few to show you what I have done with the next step. Alright, so the backs are drying still, and I've put my growth mini journal on the front using my Dymo label maker, but you can do this on your computer. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my positivities to the back. Now the first backing, I just added what growth means in the dictionary. Okay, so I have a vintage dictionary where I tore out that section, and I put it on the back of my hand. And so then the next cards will have what I want to put positive. Now put them in order of how you want to look at them every day. All right, so I'm going to mix mine up a little bit because I don't want the same hand kind of close pattern, see? So do it like that. And then I'm going to glue my positivities on the back. Okay, and look for some things that are positive that are for growth. So like, I can do it, instead of saying I don't think I can do it. Okay, kind of make them positive affirmations, positive quotes, whatever you can find or what you think is positive, put that on the back. So I'll be right back and to show you what I put on the back of mine, and then I will show you how to bind these together. So my camera shut off again. I don't know what's going on. I think I need a new battery. It shut off right when I was going to show you how to lace this through and then show you my positivity quotes. I don't know what happened. So anyhow, I went ahead and fed these through the holes one at a time. They just went all the way through to the other side. All right, so I did that with all of them, and then I went ahead and tied them at the ends so they look like this, because I kind of like that look like this. And I might later on put some charms on the end or something, but we'll see. And then in the inside I put my quotes. So it says, in a growth mindset, your flaws are just a to-do list of things to improve. Mistakes are learning experiences, not mistakes. And that's kind of my quote. That's what I say all the time. And it's true. Mistakes are learning experiences. They're not mistakes. You can do it. If first you don't succeed, try again, and don't beat yourself up over it. It's not worth it. Positive anything is better than negative nothing, Albert Hubbard. And the very last one, every thought we think is creating our future. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that you will check out my year 2017 if you haven't already done so and joined, and check out all of our lovely teachers over there and post some lovely pictures of what you have created, what you have taken from each of our styles of teaching, each of our styles of art. Each of us do things a little bit different, a little bit with a twist. So I hope that you enjoyed it and that you'll come back and visit me. And don't forget to subscribe and like and all that jazz to my channel, and that you'll go check out the Facebook group, and I have posted a link down at the bottom to that, because I would love to see your work too, and I would love to see your growth mini journal. All right, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Toodles, have a wonderful day. Bye.